So I had the absolute displeasure of listening to some fellow Homo sapien males on the internet today. It all started when I came across this TikTok of a dude mocking another guy that seems like to have a podcast, perchance a microphone, so I'm just warning y'all now where this might end up going.
Because it's traumatic for 15-year-olds, I don't get to anymore. But what if she's hot? Did you think of what if she's hot? 12-year-olds have makeup now and I'm just not supposed to notice?
As soon as I saw that, I knew I had to look into this, so I thought we should look into it together as one happy little family. Is this what you guys do on your little family nights when you hang out with your totally functional family? So I'm just gonna look the dude's name up. We all need to brace ourselves. This could be Rocky, and not Rocky Road like the ice cream. That stuff's not even good, so it actually might be the same. It is this guy right here, it seems, 1.4 million followers. Let's see if he deserves any of that. And who else to judge than some teenager on the internet?
Every man becomes an infinitely more dangerous version of themselves the moment they realize they don't need anyone's approval or permission. Because there's no greater waste of time than defending your actions to people whose life you don't want. Every man becomes an infinitely more dangerous version of themselves the moment they realize they don't need anyone's approval or permission. There's no greater waste of time than defending your actions to people whose life you don't want. Every man becomes an infinitely more dangerous version of themselves the moment they realize they don't need anyone's approval or permission.
Okay, I'm trying to process a singular word he just said, because I do not like the way this guy talks already. Every time he uttered a singular sound vibration, like the back of my throat tingled. The back of my throat is itchy. That's better. So he's saying a man gets dangerous because apparently that's the typical male's goal is to be considered dangerous. They become dangerous once they realize they don't need anyone's permission. Permission for what? Because I think that really depends on the context here. If you're talking about, oh, I don't need no permission slip signed to go to the field trip because I'm in 6th grade, because that's the only audience he might have, then yeah, I see it. I see how you'd want some liberty in that. But if you're wanting no one's permission or approval to, I don't know, beat on your wife, because he seems like the type to do that. But I'm jumping to conclusions, okay? I don't know this man. This is the very first video I've seen of him. Let's see more. I need to get a bit better grasp on this guy, okay, before we poke fun.
40-year-old guy sleeps with a 15-year-old girl. Terrible, right?
Yes. I'm glad we're on the... Okay, we are on the same page so far. He's saying it like it's a controversial thing to say. Yes, you are right. A grown man sleeping with a 15-year-old girl. Bad. What are you about to add on to this? Because I'm a little scared.
Rewind 200 years. 40-year-old guy sleeps with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal. How is it trauma now and not trauma then? And mind you, like, this is not my statement. You have to pull an extreme example.
I know, if you're gonna say something as extreme and horrendous as that, you can't go and say, no, mind you, you just have to pull an extreme example. You don't go backtracking. Stand on what you said. just admit you want to sleep with a 15-year-old girl. Let me finish the video. Hold on.
If we're going to talk about trauma to illustrate the concept, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's traumatic in one instance and not traumatic in another, then it means that we can basically change the cultural narrative that we're ascribing to our context.
Okay, stop using a bunch of big words, because it doesn't make what you said any less disgusting, icky, horrendous, diabolical, any word, honestly. He's trying to say that it's traumatic now if a 40-year-old sleeps with a 15-year-old, but it wasn't 100 years ago. It was. I hate to be the one to break it to you, it was. It definitely was. Not traumatic to the 40-year-old. No, he was having the time of his life. Getting down dirty with a 15-year-old. But no, that 15-year-old was definitely traumatized 100 years ago. Today, any time period, there is definitely some trauma there. I don't really see what point you're trying to make. It sounds like he's trying to justify some actions he may have participated in his past or present, or just maybe some thoughts. He's trying to justify it to make himself sound less, disgusting.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. No, it doesn't. I know you're not gonna sit here and try to justify, and y'all can say, oh, he's not justifying, he's just using it as an example, oh, he's just trying to explain that society is the one that deems it bad. It's not just society that's making it seem bad. It's morality, common sense. Listen, if you want to sleep with a 15-year-old and do something as disgusting as that, stand on it. Go on, don't be shy. Speak up so we know who to avoid in the public area.
It didn't matter. Which means the only thing that matters is that you chose to make it meaningful.
Well, let's say like the passing of a parent or
Yeah,
like a loved one
100%.
or something like that.
So he's saying that, guys, I'm trying to get on his comprehension level. I'm trying to get there so I can kind of see where he's coming from, but I fear I'm not going to get there at any point in my life. So he's saying it's only traumatic because we as a society is making it traumatic or like deeming it traumatic. No, we as a society have just evolved to realize how traumatic it is for a child who hasn't fully developed their brain, let alone their entire body, to be with a 40-year-old man. Hello? But you can say whatever you want. This guy seems like not the type to listen to any positive criticism, negative criticism, but I hope he's not receiving anything positive. How about that? You are too old for this to be just like a one-off comment that you made by mistake. Hello? You got bills to pay.
I ask every guest at the end of the podcast, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Why do these type of like alpha male podcasters who think they're spouting some like generational advice and words of wisdom that like I've heard from several 3-year-olds, why do they talk like this? Like they're dragging their like vocal cords and like rubbing them together and making it sound like if a 40-year-old slept with a 15-year-old 100 years ago and she was not traumatized because she didn't have any resources to help her and it was very normal back then because, you know, women weren't supposed to have voices, especially children back then. Then why is it considered traumatic today? I just hate the way they talk. Maybe I'm being a hater. Their voices sound so raspy, and I'm going to tell you why. And they're not going to like this reason, because they know it's true, and they've been trying to hide it from the whole world. But I have uncovered your secret. You're sucking mad weenie back in the alley of McDonald's, and you know what? I don't blame you, but own up to it. It's not bad. You can suck weenie. You can suck all the genitalia you want. That's why your voice sounds like that, and we all know it. I'm just the only one bold enough to point it out. See, he said that disgusting thing about 15-year-old girls
40-year-old guy sleeps with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal.
to take away from the fact that he's a homosexual, because he does not want people knowing he's a homosexual, okay? I'm about to make a crazy conspiracy theory. He likes men. And he said that crazy thing about little girls, so no one suspects he likes men because they'll suspect he likes little girls. And he finds it way more acceptable to like little girls than liking men. But that's just a theory. A homosexual theory.
The greatest skill you can develop is the ability to stay in a great mood in the absence of things to be in a great mood about. And if you can be in a bad mood for no reason, you might as well be in a good mood for no reason.
Okay, I feel like I need to address the elephant in the room. What is on his nose? Is this why he sounds so weird? Like his voice sounds all like scratchy and itchy and like forcefully deep, like not natural at all. Is he like has to tape his nostrils open because it's like trying to close up on him? Even his nose is trying to shut him up. You know what? I was about to say I'm dogging on this guy for not knowing too much, but the comment he made about those 15-year-olds,
4-year-old guy sleeps with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal.
I already know. I do not like this guy.
The greatest skill you can develop is the ability to stay in a great mood in the absence of things to be written about. And if you get in a bad mood,
To stay in a good mood in the absence of things to be in a good mood about. I feel like no matter how many times I repeat that, it's just not going to make sense to a small, feeble mind such as myself. Then again, word salad is not my first language.
How is that even physically possible?
I've always been low. The highest reading I've ever had is 270.
That makes no sense because I see the beard and the muscle. You have to have more testosterone.
You can be androgen sensitive. If you're below 300, but you're not suffering from low testosterone issues, you don't have erectile dysfunction, you don't have issues getting out of bed in the morning, you're not depressed, you're not moody, you're pretty much just like, you don't have supremely low muscle mass compared to normal men, then you're probably just androgen sensitive, and it's fine.
Wow.
He's talking about how he has low testosterone, and this is proof that you can have low testosterone and still be rich. What does your hormones have to do with being rich? I didn't know that being rich was based on testosterone. I thought it was based on being a disgusting, horrible person that steps on others. What do I know? I mean, there's only, like 8 billionaires in the world, and that's not enough to base a lot of evidence off of.
if you're under 30 years old, you have no reason to not go 100% all in on your goals. Because the true downside is what? You're in the exact same position you currently are, but you get another experience. And the upside is you get everything that you ever wanted.
Okay, I get what he's saying. Ish. But like, no, not everyone has the privilege to do that. You know how little people are getting paid to the point where doctors, nurses, all these like supposedly high paying professions, all these people are having to get second jobs. That's how expensive everything's getting. So no one has time. So saying if you're under 30 years old, you have zero reason to not go 100% all in just seems a little bit of a privileged statement, if I do say so myself. Like, a lot of people don't have free time anymore because they're busy trying to make a living off their 5 jobs and their side hustle.
My first 9 businesses didn't really amount to anything. 9. As in the first one, spent time, fucking failed. Second one, this one will be different, fucking failed. Third one, this is the one. I'm just painting this picture because, like, it's painful as shit because the whole time everyone is telling you, I told you so, and they're right. Today. But not forever.
Having 9 failed businesses is crazy. And you're over here giving me advice? What is your business? What's the one that thrived as opposed to your other 9? All I'm really seeing is that he has a book and he speaks motivationally sometimes. Is that a business?
Here to here.
Oh my lord! I need me some of that. I'll never see it though because I'm not a 15-year-old girl.
4-year-old guy sleeps with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal. So the first component of mental toughness in my model is tolerance.
Is he trying to turn, like, your mental stability into a pyramid scheme? Hello? I'm not watching that.
All of our beliefs, except for those that we truly believe and those we never think to question. Why should we process a traumatic event? What does that mean? So let's just say something bad happens. In another culture, that might not be bad. It's trauma in this culture. It's not trauma in this culture. So if the circumstance is the same, why was it traumatic?
Circumstances weren't the same.
Why not?
Because the culture.
The facts were the same. If it's traumatic in one instance and not traumatic in another, then it means that we can basically change the cultural narrative that...
If it's not traumatic in one culture, but it is in another, hello? Every single living being processes events differently. What someone would view as traumatic, some wouldn't. That doesn't mean the other person's feelings are not valid. Hello? I want to use this man's face as a tissue. I want to blow my snot onto his face.
To our context and make it not traumatic.
Well, let's say like the passing of a parent.
Did you notice that? After he said, hold on, the passing of the parent line came after he mentioned the 15-year-old line.
4-year-old guy sleeps with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal.
So he cut that out, because this is posted on his actual account. He cut that out.
4-year-old guy sleeps with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal. How is it trauma now and not trauma then? And mind you, like, this is not my statement. You have to pull an extreme example. We're going to talk about trauma to illustrate the concept, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's traumatic in one instance and not traumatic in another, then it means that we can basically change the cultural narrative that we're describing to our context and make it not traumatic.
Well, let's say like the passing
Which
of a
means the
parent.
only thing that matters is that you chose to make it meaningful.
Well, let's say like the passing of a parent.
I know he's not trying to write it off as some mistake. Boy, you are grown. You are a grown man. Go pay your electric bill. My goodness.
When someone's like, I was traumatized, it's like, were you? Or do you just choose to label it as trauma and then now you fucked up the rest of your life?
You choose to label it as trauma. Does he realize not everyone processes stuff the same and every single person is different? Wait till he finds out that some people like apple juice and some don't. His whole world's gonna be blown. He's gonna make a whole, like, little press conference about it and everything. Maybe they're labeling it as traumatic because it was. If it isn't traumatic for you and you can go on about your life, good for you, but some people process stuff differently. Oh my god. This guy seems insufferable.
Call it trauma. When 200 years ago it was life. We just choose to create meaning around things.
Were all 5 of your family members shot in front of you and then you were made to lay next to them and their rotting, maggot-infested bodies for 5 days? No food, no water. You just had to stare at their cold dead eyes that look like olives? You're just choosing to label that as traumatic. Sorry. It's honestly your fault, because why are you choosing to label that as traumatic? It's not traumatic if you label it as not traumatic. We got a big brain over here.
Alex Hormozi has a big problem. He's a brilliant business thinker and creates over 400 pieces of content a month. He even has 1.4 million TikTok followers, but his recent videos haven't been getting many views. And there's 3 reasons I think it could be. Recently, he's been going hard with the promotion of his new book, because if you compare these most recent videos to the first promotional videos, the views are 10x less.
No, it couldn't possibly be the fact that he defended 40-year-old men sleeping with 15-year-old little girls. It couldn't be.
4-year-old guy sleep with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal.
He just made $150 million in a day. I think he's gonna be okay. Did he? Buddy, I hate to break it to you, but if he did make that in a day, I don't think he'd be posting anymore. I think he's gonna be okay. Yeah, but the 15-year-old that he's definitely sleeping with on the side, because no one says that stuff out of pocket and doesn't believe that on a spiritual level, is not doing that.
4-year-old guy sleep with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal.
Think of it this way, if you had hundreds of millions of dollars, would you spend all your time trying to convince people to buy $20 ebooks from you? I fear a point has been made, and I fear it's gonna go over this person's head anyway. I just hate how a lot of people are just ignoring the fact that he defended a child RAPE.
I'd like to normalize a 6-day-a-week, 12-hour per day work week for men between 16 and 28. To trade, to develop experience, to develop proof that you can get good at a skill, and you only get good at a skill by not being good at a skill and repeating it.
This sounds like me trying to reach my word limit on essay. Should we trust the science on workplace efficiency and mental health, or random dude with a podcast? Difficult choice. He's trying to seem like in touch with issues that like the younger male population face, but he definitely is financially stable for sure. He definitely seems like he does not worry about money. How about that?
So I'm 100% a nihilist.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that we die, nothing happens, and like,
Sure.
you know, it is what it is.
Alex Hormozy is a smart guy,
Well, I beg to differ.
but he's not right about everything.
Some bad.
That we can agree on.
4-year-old guy sleep with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal.
You said that your wife, Layla, has very expensive taste. Does this ever bother you? If she's like, Alex, I want to buy a $50,000 purse.
You know what that question gave? You know when, like, the Marvel cast gets interviewed and they ask the dude questions, like, very deep, like, how'd you get into the role of your character? Like, what were your steps to get into the mindset of your character? And then it switches to the girls and they're like, did you wear underwear under your suit? Did you go commando under your suit? That's what the question was giving. I don't know. Might have been just me. She's the CEO. That's her coin. Whoa, what? Layla is individually wealthy. She was a millionaire before 30. Do you think he gets his advice from her and he just writes it off and mansplains it as his own?
If you're like 16 to 25, like, just get in shape. Yeah. Like, because once you're in shape, you can stay in shape. But like, you have the time, and you'll get different priorities later.
Yeah.
So it's like, just do it then.
Oh. Well, crap, my bad. I didn't know it was that easy. I didn't know people just had time to take out of their day to work out and had literally no health issues stopping them, nothing. Like, just do it. It was that simple. I do not think this guy washes his belly button. You just know it's all dirty. Lint, dust, hair everywhere. He does not scrub his belly button, and that's making me very uncomfortable. I can smell it from here.
Poor people stay poor because they're afraid of other poor people judging them for doing the things it takes to get rich.
Let's listen to that one more time.
Poor people stay poor because they're afraid of other poor people judging them for doing the things it takes to get rich.
You hear that? So if you're poor, you're literally surviving paycheck to paycheck, don't even have enough money to pay for food. It's because you're scared that other poor people will judge you if you become rich. Not because, you know, it's extremely difficult to get hired these days, let alone get hired by a job that pays you enough money to be able to live. Just in general. Yeah, it's actually all your fault. This guy's just very out of touch. The only thing he's touching is 15-year-olds.
4-year-old guy sleep with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal.
Okay, well, don't listen to a single word this guy says. If he says the sky is blue, don't believe him. If he sits there and says the sky is blue, I'm gonna go and double check because I will be just instinctually inclined to be like, what? Talk to a professional if you're having issues with your life. Don't listen to some hairy, unshaven man in front of a microphone. There's my great advice. Give me a microphone, why don't you? Okay,
4-year-old guy sleep with a 15-year-old girl. 100% normal.